Greetings, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us, me, Goddess Rhonda, and of course, our beautiful Goddess Starr. For
Hi, everyone. Good to be back.
television, we're back. Yay! We have
We're back. We're back.
Mercury retrograde, broken computers, all kinds of stuff. But here we are, finally back, and we are so glad to be so, and we're so glad you guys are with us. We've got our chat family already in there.
Oh my goodness, I forgot to do that. I'm so sorry. Let me go try to.
Our goddess Monica and Judy and
Oh my goodness, I miss everybody. I can't wait. Hold on. Let me go try to get to find you guys. I'm so happy to be here with you guys tonight. And of course, we're not we're not all there yet, but we're getting there.
We're getting there. We've got some,
Yeah. All right.
Going on.
Okay. Uh-oh. I better check to make sure that I don't have anything. I have everything on mute because I'm hearing noises. Okay, here we go.
Are those new glasses, Goddess Starr?
Yes, I my glasses, it's the funniest thing. Coming back and going to New Orleans, I lost two, not lost, they broke right in my hands, just like that, broke. And I had to lend one to Christine because she lost hers. It was the weirdest thing with glasses while we were away.
Well, I love them. I think they look cool.
I'm always trying to find really interesting ones.
I really like those. Those are cool.
Yeah.
All right. So as always, before we begin, we like to cast a circle of protection around us. Excuse me. All hail, our lords and ladies of the East, our brothers and sisters, our brother and patron, the sacred element of air, namaste. Divine honor, love, joy, peace, and respect to thee. We charge thee, please cause a barrier of protection through all of our walls that face your direction. From corner to corner and end to end, let peace and protection reign herein. Thank you. So it is. So mote it be.
So it is. So mote it be. All hail, O lords and ladies of the South, my brothers and sisters, my brother and patron, the sacred element of fire, namaste. Divine honor, love, joy, peace, and respect to thee. I charge you, please cause a barrier protection through all of our walls that face your direction, from corner to corner and end to end. Let peace and protection reign herein. Thank you, and so it is. So mote it be.
So it is. So mote it be. All hail, our lords and ladies of the West, our brothers and sisters, our sister and patron, the sacred element of water, namaste. Divine honor, love, joy, peace, and respect to thee. We charge thee, please cause a barrier of protection through all of our walls that face your direction, from corner to corner and end to end. Let peace and protection reign herein. Thank you. So it is, so mote it be.
So it is, and so mote it be. All hail, our lords and ladies of the North, my brothers and sisters, my sister and patron, the sacred element of earth, namaste. Divine honor, love, joy, peace, and respect to thee. We charge you, please, cause a barrier of protection to all of our walls that face a direction, from corner to corner and end to end. Let peace and protection reign herein. Thank you, and so it is. So mote it be.
So it is. So mote it be. And we now bring down divine white light from the sacred source of all well-being and fill all of our spaces with peace and protection always. So it is, so mote it be.
So it is, so mote it be. All right.
Alrighty. So tonight we are going to be discussing the various god and goddess archetypes, because one of the things that we have found, especially with people who are just beginning, they want to know, well, what goddess, do I connect to, or what god do I connect to? So we're going to present to you various archetypes, and you can see which one is your archetype, or you may find that you're in need of a specific archetype. And so we'll be going through, as we go through them, you may be able to choose a god and or goddess that suits what it is that you're trying to accomplish in your life. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. First, I have to say again, we are just so glad to be back. I don't even know what to do with
Yeah.
you. So
We missed you guys. We missed you guys
terribly,
so much.
and it just
So much.
feels so good to be able to be back with you, and even just talking to you about the gardening, just connecting with your energy is awesome. And so we just wanted to say that, and thank you for all of the welcome backs that we got in the chat room. It's also great to see that as well. Where's my chat room? Ah, there it is. It's awesome to see you guys back. Hello there, Soul. We didn't see you before. And happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Oh, it's her birthday. Happy birthday, Soul. Happy birthday.
All right, so now let's go into our show and see what we've got going on here. All right, so when we read the stories of the gods and the goddesses, it's never all sweetness and light. A lot of people are actually surprised at the issues that they went through. I do want to reiterate, because we have said this though before, that when we talk about the stories of what they did, that was when they were incarnated. And they're beyond that now. These stories are to teach us a lesson. So if you're wondering if they're going through all this, how are they going to help us? These stories are to teach you that they went through the same things that you go through. They've overcome them. And these are the people that if you have a similar circumstance, you can go to them, because their stories are not all rainbows and unicorns. Right, Goddess Starr?
Absolutely.
So we're going to go ahead and get started. So we're going to start off with who we, Goddess Starr and I, have aspected in the past. What goddess or god have you aspected in the past, Goddess Starr?
Okay. For me, there has been many, because I'm not many I have reached out to just to kind of get to know them. And some of them were like the companion goddesses, Juno, Hera, Persephone. There was one in particular that I liked, but I will discuss her later on. For right now, some of the companion goddesses are those who put their needs behind their needs of their partners, or are loyal to them despite betrayals. Persephone was kidnapped by Pluto, but fell in love with him and stayed by his side despite the fact that he took her forcefully. Hera's husband Zeus was reportedly a serial cheater, but Hera remained his dutiful wife regardless of that. That old song, "Stand by Your Man," would be the theme for these particular goddesses. So I guess in some ways we kind of aspect some of the ones that we feel like we needed at the time. So for me, that was way back when. But in a way, with mine and my husband, it ended up where he put his needs before me as well. So it ended up working out for me in that way. But one in particular, that I was mentioning to you guys was the goddess Calypso. Depending on where you know her knowledge from, some people say Barbados, some say the Caribbean Isles. Her sacred site is a cave. But she was a goddess that she fell in love with Odysseus, I believe. And she was a goddess that believed in true love. She's the goddess that would, I know you guys talk about Aphrodite and the goddess Venus when it comes to love. But supposedly Calypso was the goddess that if you truly wanted to find that true gift of love, and you're honest about it in that sense, she was the goddess that they used to reach out to try to attain that, because it's kind of like saying, I'm no longer, playing the field or whatever it is. I really want to find that person now. And I want that person to be the right person for me. This is the goddess that you'll reach out to. So if you guys want to research her some more, I know she had a bit of an issue with Odysseus because she fell in love with him, and he Fertility, I believe, in exchange if he stayed with her, and he chose to go back to his wife. I guess that was his true love. even though she was his true love in that sense. But you kind of learn a lesson from there. She still basically said, okay, if you want to go back. She still helped him build his boat and send him on his way, and apparently nursed a painful heart with that love, because she had to give him up. I guess she kind of did give him the choices as opposed to forcing him to stay, as some of the gods and goddesses would have done. So I kind of like her for that. What do you think, Goddess?
Yeah, that was really pretty big of her, because there's no way I'd fix his boat and send him on his way. Maybe I'd put enough glue on it to get him to the middle of the ocean and it falls apart. And it's like, screw you, prick, you left me, But you should know that in real, in our life, that is actually very common. It's an excellent lesson, because 90%, at least 90% of the time, if you are seeing a married man, he is going to go back to his wife. Almost 90%
exactly
of the time. So I think it's actually an excellent lesson.
More accurate, yeah.
Don't waste your time on married men. Now, I know that there are plenty of people that have, gone out with married men, and the men end up leaving their wives and being with them, but that's not typical. It's rare. So be careful that, before you invest your heart with someone who has already vowed it to somebody else, be very careful with that. But I will say that was very big of her, because there was no way that I'd be helping him.
Well, she kind of had a little bit of a help, I believe. What was his name? I think it was Zeus. So one of them kind of said to her, kind of talked to her and said, and a child, I believe, or whatever it is, and, find it in your heart to do something about it in the right way. So in a way, she kind of got that little help, the pep talk kind of a thing. So she kind of did the right thing. But she did nurse a painful heart after he left. But you're right, 1% chance is literally that 1% chance. 99% of the time, they do go back. So nursing that heart or whatever it is for someone who is already, like you said, spoken for, does not necessarily help. And a lot of times, if they did it for you, they may do it for someone else. At least that's the way
I see it too. If you cheat on your
because they may find someone else and move on. Fickle heart kind of a person could gotta wonder sometimes. Yeah.
It's true. Well, as far as in the past, I remember I took one of those online things. It's like, what goddess are you? And I kept coming up with Persephone, and that kind of made me a little, so I was like, I would be Persephone, because she got stolen by Pluto. If you want my opinion, I think that she actually did love Pluto, because she tried to stay with him, even though her mother was begging her to come back. She made sure that she ate 6 of those pomegranate seeds so that she could get back to her husband. So
I think so too.
Start off well, but I think she did fall in love. But the important thing is, and it is true that I, at that time, was surrounded by some pretty gnarly characters and going through some pretty, some rough times with some rough guys, very Pluto-like guys. And I hate saying even Pluto-like, because Pluto gets a very bad rap. I hate that they demonize him the way that they do. He's actually a nice man. He can bring you wealth. He can bring you a lot of things. But going with just how they define him, I was at that time a lot like Persephone, just wanting to be nice and picking flowers and my herbs. And then here comes the big bad wolf. And, Goddess Rhonda likes the bad guys. Let's not say that liked, past tense, the bad boys, trying to heal them. And so I could see where that came from. Of course, that's then, and this is now. Now I'm more of, now in my old age, I know it's not worth
don't say those words.
I'm leaving the bad boys to the little 20-year-olds to try to heal.
They can have them.
You can have them, and good luck. I wish you the best of luck. I hope it works out. Goddess Rhonda is done with that part of her life. Now I'm much more connected to the nature goddesses.
There's a lot of much.
Much. There's a lot of much in there. I just try to, the more I can disassociate myself from the old me and stay out of that crap, Now I am into the creation / fertility nature goddesses. Venus, Diana. I love nature goddesses because I like working with the earth. I like the fertility goddess energy. It's, I almost feel like it's a lost tradition, so I just love doing that. So we've got the nature goddesses for those of you who love being outdoors and getting your hands in the dirt, or if you like being around animals more than you like being around people. Like I should have been a zookeeper. I was telling somebody that because I love animals. If I just had to deal with animals all day, I would be happy. Either that or I need to be one of those people that has a cabin in the middle of the woods like the old witches, where there's just nature and deer and birds around me. I'd be very, very happy putting flowers in my hair and dancing, with the birds. That would make me extremely joyous. So the nature goddesses, they enjoy being outdoors, working with plants, animals, and the elements. Not necessarily all of the elements, but maybe you like water. Some people love water. Some people love earth. It all depends on what you want. If you like to work with just plants, the plants are your friends. If you have a green thumb, if you can take a dying wilted plant and turn it back into a lush and thriving being, then you are aspecting the nature / fertility / creation goddesses. Others may work with just animals and not just their own pets, although the stereotypical cat lady would certainly fall under that category. Lots of us witches have cats. Lots of cats. I have two. I love, but I would be so happy in my little cabin in the woods. If I had 10 cats, I'd be a happy chick. I love cats. I love animals, but I especially love cats. So they also share traits with those who always make sure their bird feeders are full so that the birds are there. They don't turn away a stray animal. If they see a stray animal, they have to stop and get it and rescue it and get it to help. Animal rights activists, Diana and Artemis are patrons of animals. Some may choose to only work with the elements, perhaps just their personal patron or all of them. This now breaks down to goddesses of the elements, which could technically be included under the nature goddesses since the elements are a part of nature. We do have a little research section at the bottom of our notes, so I'll be sure to put that in the our group so that you can check those out if you're interested, because again, you may be interested in what god and goddess you aspect or what sounds like you, or if you're in need of a particular archetype, then you'll know who you can go to. All right, Goddess Starr, who do we have up next? Goddess Starr, are you with me?
Yeah, are you seeing? Am I not reacting?
No, I see you now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, because for some reason you're kind of freezing a little bit every now and then for me, so I'm hoping it's not me or you.
Oh, I don't know.
What was the question you asked me? I'm sorry.
I was saying, so what do you have next on your list?
Well, another one that I guess, are we doing the past and then the present, right?
Yeah, well, we just did who we aspected. Well, we kind of did both a little bit. So now I think we are up to the diplomats.
Okay, the diplomats, like what's her name? For the diplomats, I think Yamaya, I think, has done a lot of I think she has played that diplomat sometimes. I thought of Diana as well. In a way, Calypso may have done so herself, because diplomacy, I guess, with herself and how she played the part as the person who she had to choose. Okay. She had to choose between, her life as that person that's going to go on by herself, or sending Odysseus on to who he needs to be with. But, like Tara and Irene, or any of those that you'll kind of, the goddesses of peace. Those are the ones that kind of keep peace among, I guess, just about anyone that they can keep peace with. like how we do it ourselves. If you think about it, we do that now. We try to keep peace with many people.
Mm-hmm.
In what we do, we deal with our clients in the different ways and try to help guide them in whatever they need to be in their daily lives. A lot of times, we ourselves with aspects, like for instance, just giving you an example, I've aspected the goddess Kana. She's from Italy, and that particular goddess, I guess, in some ways, you may not realize that she's kind of the peaceful one, but she's a peace with you. She wants you to be able to, I know how to say Kana, carnal, and all those different things. She kind of helps you make peace with yourself, with food. How do you treat yourself? Whether it's sexually, whether it's with food, losing weight, gaining weight, whatever you need to stay on a healthy path with your body, and to make peace with yourself and to make peace with who you are and love the person that you are in the body that you're in. And I think that's a pretty good thing that and I use that a lot with some of my clients in terms of helping them to move on and to kind of check her out or research her to see how they can help themselves via her. What about you, Goddess?
I actually like that. I love the
Can you hear me?
idea. Yes, I can hear you.
You
Can you
froze
hear
again.
me?
I'm sorry, you froze again.
Am I freezing? Am I frozen? Can you hear me, Goddess
You're
Starr?
freezing in and out. Or is it? I don't know if it's me, but you'll be
Uh,
speaking and you're going in and out, so I'm not quite.
okay,
Yes.
I'm not sure,
Can
but
you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you great.
Can you see me?
Yeah, I
Are
can.
you able to see me?
Sure,
Okay, good. Good, good, good. I'm sorry.
that's okay. Now I forgot what we were
So how
saying.
about you, Goddess Rhonda?
Trying to remember. Oh yes, the peace goddess.
I'm
I
sorry.
actually love that. I think that that's the peace goddesses are some are we should actually on a regular basis just bring them into our home just to have peace in our home. You might not always be able to have peace at work or peace with other things going on in your life, but you should have a peaceful home. And I love the idea of bringing in the peace goddesses and bringing them into your home to bring that peace into the house. I love that idea. I think that's awesome. I just wanted to take a quick look at our chat room and let's see. Okay, so here we go. We have said happy birthday to beautiful Goddess Soul. Hello there, Goddess Rebecca. We're glad to see you. Goddess Bella, love to see you. Um, we've got Monica who says, I started with Vesta and thought I was crazy. She came to me with her demands. Then La Virgin de Guadalupe, Saint Gertrude, Saint Matthew, Saint Augustine. Whoops, my thing scrolled a little bit. Saint Dimsna, I hope I said that correctly. Mercury, Psyche, Urania, Eris. Wow, you've got a lot of you have got a lot of goddesses going on there. But that's okay. I think that's the more that you get to know, the more that you connect with, the better off you are. That's my opinion because I love
Yeah.
connecting with everybody. We've got cool flavor. For me, it's Raven. It's Raven that's freezing.
Oh, it's
Uh,
me that's freezing? Okay.
oh, they're
I don't
thinking
know.
that you that's freezing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got okay, Judy, Goddess Starr. Okay, Judy's saying you look to be freezing on your end. And Soul
Okay.
said we just started the post Mercury retro, which is probably what's going on. I don't know about you guys, but this has been one heck of a Mercury retrograde. I mean, to be fair, I did go back and do things I was supposed to do and got as much done as I possibly could in accordance with the Mercury retrograde law. However, I did learn, and I really should have known better, but my computer was just acting crazy. And I should have known better than to buy a computer during Mercury retrograde.
Oh no.
I'm hoping that it's after the retrograde is over, it will behave better. So I'm not going to freak out yet. I should have known better, but I was desperate. And so here we are.
Yeah.
But anyway, getting back to our archetypes, and feel free, guys, in the chat room, tell us what goddesses or gods that you connect with and why, or why if you feel like you're aspecting them now, because if you feel like you're aspecting them, they can help you with what it is that, because they've already been through it. That's one of the purposes of them telling you their stories. And so
Absolutely.
we've got up next, what have we got up next? We've got the Crone.
The fertility goddesses, I believe.
No, actually, I
right? Or the Crone or the fertility goddesses?
It's the Crone, because I skipped them.
Okay,
So
all right.
Up, and we're going to go into the Crone, Caradwin, Hecate, Harishka, I have a hard time saying that. The Crone archetype is thought of as being an old, wise woman, but it is not confined to those who are physically older. Let's just take a moment and talk about that for a minute, because when we think of the Crone, we think of, the old woman, and she's been through so many things in life. But if you consider how many lifetimes you've had and how much wisdom you have accumulated, you could be a Crone at 20 if you're in touch with all of that wisdom, or a lot of the maturity that if you brought that in with you into this lifetime. Because a lot of people, and I'm sure that many of you can relate to this, always felt older than everybody else. Like when I was in school, I felt like I didn't fit in because I felt older than everybody. I had older friends because I didn't really fit in well with the people of my own age. I didn't understand their choices and things like that. So you can be a Crone. You don't have to be a gray-haired woman to be a Crone. You just have to be in touch with your wisdom, and especially the wisdom that has come with you throughout all of your lifetime. So if you've always felt like you were more mature than the people your own age, then you may have been born a Crone. I've met little kids who have like old souls and a Crone's mentality, and they're just, 7 years old. You just never know. So I didn't want to kind of
clarify that
and straighten out that stereotype, because I also know old women who are not Crones that they just did not bring any wisdom from last lifetime, this lifetime, or any lifetime. Living crazy. And so they could be 80 years old. You can be 80 and not be a Crone. It's all about that you're in touch with and how you apply it to your life. Although typically we think of it as the grandmotherly type, people who are healing and compassionate and give you their wisdom. But you'll find that even young witches will do that. They'll give you compassion. They'll heal you. They'll give you the wisdom as best as they can. Now, on the opposite side, there's the shadow Crone traits of bitterness and unhappiness and disappointment. There are people that, instead of recognizing the lessons of their travails, where they just feel victimized. And, even no matter what you're going through, there's a lesson in it. And as soon as you get that lesson, you can get out of the situation. But so the Crone archetype, I think of it more as a mentality. What do you think, Goddess Starr?
You're absolutely right in all of what you just said, because we have met people who are in their 60s, their 70s, and you're sitting there going, are you kidding me? But their reaction with certain things, when you're sitting there and you're all seeing a whole thing play out before you, and their reaction is that of a child, and you're sitting there going, how old are you? You know what I mean? You really want to ask them that, because they're sitting there all acting like a teenager, and they're over 60, and you're just like, this is real. They're not play acting. This is real. This is who they are. And you're sitting back perplexed. And I know we've all met people like that. And whereas we've seen it on Facebook, young people that the words that come out of their mouths, you're like, wow, you're in awe of them because they're so wise, and the things that they say, you're like wondering, you're seeing this older person crowning themselves into their bodies. Though they look like a young child on the outside, you see it because you're seeing all that wisdom coming out of them. So you're absolutely right with how you described it, and in terms of that. So it's something, even if I believe this part too, that even if you are someone who have not been able to bring some of that wisdom forward, that you are able to do so whether it's with regressions or meditations or different things, to bring some of that wisdom forward with you when you do your past life explorations and everything, and bring some of the gifts back and
Mhm.
see what you can do to help you in this lifetime to balance out things for you, to make it easier and better for you. I think that's what a lot of people go to therapists for. At least that's my belief with it, anyways. That they
Mhm.
go to therapists or therapy sessions to get their life together or get their act together so that things will be back to at least what they consider normal within their lives. And they pay a lot of money for this. Whereas I believe that they can do a lot of it themselves if they do regressions and things like that, and there are a lot of people out there that can help them with that. So it's all a matter of what you want to aspect or what you want to bring into your life at this time. And Goddess Rhonda is absolutely right. It really does not matter about the age. But in in rationality, when people say it, they do mean someone over 50.
Right.
But we, like I said, we all know that we've seen different aspects of that from one end of the extreme end to the other.
Right.
Um, so it plays itself out the way it is, and it just all depends on up to you if you decide that this is where you want to go with it. Where do you what end of the total pole extreme do you want to go with it? And aspect the different gods and goddesses for that. You've got so many: Demeter, Hera, um, even Kali. You'd be surprised, Kali Ma, or any of them that you go back, and they'll be able to help you with different things. Even Lakshmi, you can reach out to for wisdom with your money or your investments or your businesses or whatever it is. It's all just a matter of what aspect you want to reach out to in with these different gods and goddesses and how they can help you. Because to me, it's not just aspecting like how, whether it's Calypso or whomever. To me, it's also whether you're looking for an aspect of love or money or learning to love yourself, not just love towards other people, but many things that you will learn to do for yourself to help make yourself that better witch in general. Aspect whomever you wish, and I would suggest even researching it. Don't just stick to one pantheon or the ones that you see in a general sense. There's so many out there, and some that are more fine tuned to certain aspects that you're looking for. If you do the research and find out there what you can hold on to or what you can grasp onto, to aspect and work for yourself. What do you think, Goddess?
I think you're absolutely right. I think especially it's important for us to always grow in our own wisdom. And I can pretty much guarantee you, if you were to sit down and think about all of the things that you have been through in your lifetime and paid attention, not so much dwelling on what happened, on the painful situation, but what you learned from it or how you triumphed over it. If you just were to go back and review your life and write down all the lessons that you've learned from all of those situations, you will find that you're already extremely wise. You just might not be in touch with it. And so, just to boost up your own self appreciation of your own wisdom and what you have been through, and what you have triumphed over, and what you have fought through, what you have survived, maybe what you didn't survive, maybe it took you time to recover from it. You still learned and you grew from all of that. They were important soul lessons. And so, you're probably a lot wiser than you even think that you are if you just think back to all the things. Because I know, I have to tell you, and I don't know if you agree with this, Goddess Starr, I have yet to meet a witch that's had just this great life. I've never met a witch where everything was just fine growing up and they have money and everything was wonderful. Everyone has been through something hard that they have recovered from or they're still trying to work through. And when we look at all the lessons, look at everything that we have overcome, all of those things, you really realize how strong you are, how resilient you are, what a superhero you are, what a badass you are. There's just so much wisdom that we have in ourselves, but a lot of times we don't look at that wisdom and appreciate it. We dwell too much on the negative situation
Yeah,
as opposed to what we can
absolutely.
from it. So I can pretty much guarantee you're probably a crone if you think back to all the things that you have had to overcome, all of your trials, the lessons you've learned, how you've progressed, how your soul has evolved. And that I'm not the person I was when I was 20. In fact, I was telling, was it Friday? Friday, I did a UNM event. I was doing henna for the freshman class. They had this big party. And so I was doing henna, and I'm looking at all of these 18 and 19-year-old girls. You know, they're dancing, they're shaking, they got their boobs hanging out. And even though when I was 20, I would have been right down there in the thick of it with them, with my boobs hanging out and shaking my ass. But at this age, I wanted to go down there and grab all of them and just say, listen, I want to talk to you. You know, dancing like that is not going to attract the right kind of guy. You know, you want to cover up a little bit. You know, be careful of your choices. That guy might look cute, but I know he's a dog. Stay away from him. But of course, I can't do that. I can't gather up all the 20-year-olds, and this is their lesson. These are the things they have to learn. But I realized, like, dang, I am so not 20 anymore. I'm just like, wow. In fact, I was actually trying to wonder if I was born this age, if I was ever 20, because I don't think I was ever that young when I look at these young kids out there. But anyway, with that said, even them, though, because a lot of kids from the time they were born to the time they were 18 led hard lives. And they have probably learned and grown, and there could be some crones out there at 20 shaking it up on the dance floor. So we say all that to say, congratulations. You are probably a crone, no matter how old you are. And it's something to be proud of because you have survived, you have evolved, you have changed your life, you've learned to use your energies, you've learned to manifest for yourself. You guys are really wise. And so we're going to give you a pat on, I'm giving myself a pat on the back, but it's for you guys because I can't get your back, but I can get mine. And so anyway, let's roll forward because I'm determined we are going to finish this list. I know I kind of screwed it up because I mixed up my things, but I'll catch myself up. All right, Goddess Starr.
All right. It's all right. It's all good.
What have we got next, Goddess Starr?
Now we have the fertility goddesses like Venus, Aphrodite, Inanna. So are you hearing me?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not sure. Okay, good. I think I'm on the wrong part here because then I see your mouth moving and I said, maybe she's not hearing me.
No, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Yeah. So we've got, these great goddesses and they are very good with fertility. They are the ones that they are the exact opposite of the Femme Fatales. The fertility goddesses are about creation, positive creation and manifestation, using sexual energy, but in a divine way. They do not require an actual partner, using their own balanced masculine and feminine energies, and love to help create lives for other people, bringing in wealth, love, and beauty. And it is, oh my goodness, there are so many beautiful ones there. I've even thought Yamaya has been that, Azuli.
Absolutely.
There are so many. I mean, they are all such worthy fertility goddesses, and they really do try to bring in all these positive aspects of manifestation. But they're also aware that they're sexual beings as well, and that they should be proud of who they are. Mm-hmm. Because one of the things that they, in this day and time, in the past they've done it, in the present they've done it, and I guess they will continue doing it until we say stop. They treat us as if we don't have the right to be sexual beings. We don't have the right to be proud of who we are, our bodies and all of it, and come into our own and loving who we are. And whether we do it with ourselves or with other people or whatever it is our right, our choices, and all to be done in that positive manner to manifest what we need or want. And the fact that these are all beautiful gods and goddesses, or goddesses rather, that I would love you to really learn to get to know for any aspect that they have that you will be able to use or work with. They have, like Goddess Rhonda has said, they have such knowledge. They've been there, done that. They've been around for so long. And here is all this wisdom out there. And they're giving us it in different stories and relating different things in a way that we can understand and relate to. So we have to learn to accept that and study it that way and see how we can relate it to what we are dealing with in this lifetime. And how can we help come out on a better end with it? How do we deal with ourselves and other people with it? So I think we need to learn how to aspect a lot of this from these different gods and goddesses. Well, actually, goddesses. um, so, and a lot of it is to learn to also forgive ourselves for not being what people want us to be, but rather what we want to be. And I'm saying the word forgive because you always, a lot of these fertility goddesses have also um, allow people to, I guess, all other gods and goddesses to judge them in different ways. Forgive yourself for that and move on. Get over it. Because we are not here to allow other people to judge us. We are the only ones that should be judging ourselves and move on from there. What do you think, Goddess?
Oh, I'm right there with you. You know me, I don't give a rat's ass what anybody thinks. I'm going to do what I want to do. And, you know, it's not like I'm doing anything bad. I'm not out there robbing banks and doing horrible things. I'm doing the best I can to help the world be a better place and to make a good life for myself as well. And, you know, I gave up caring what people think like decades. I think when I left the church, because the church puts
Oh
a
my
lot
Goddess. Oh,
of guilt, it's just guilt about everything. You're never doing it.
yeah.
It's never enough. And even no matter what you do, they even tell you no matter what you do, you're always going to be a sinner. You know, you're
Yeah.
always going to be
They
a
can,
crappy
yeah.
person.
No.
So, you know, leaving that being put down all the time, which personally I
Yeah.
think is spiritual abuse, to do that to people and to send that message that you're not good enough and
Yeah.
that you're never going to be good enough. And no matter what you do, you're always going to be just basically worthless and a sinner and just lucky that you'll be, if they let you into heaven or not. You know, I don't believe in that. That's not my belief. I believe that we're all good enough and we're all wonderful and we're all fabulous. And I want everyone to know that and feel that way. So, you know, I don't really care if someone comes up to me and starts spewing judgment. They can spew all they want to. That's their issue. I'm not going to make it mine. I'm just not even going to worry about it. In fact, sometimes they help us because, you know, we had Witch Fest. We have to talk about Witch Fest.
Oh,
We
right. Yeah.
Fest. And every year here come these same hecklers, you know, with their 6-foot signs that we're going to hell and blah 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 blah. And they got their megaphones and they're screaming and yelling like maniacs. And all they ever do is bring us more business because while they're screaming in their megaphones and yelling at us, people become curious and they're like, oh, what's going on over here? So I actually got a star. If you could maybe find out who they are, I wanted to see if they could come earlier next year so we could get some extra business. Maybe they could be there by 9 so that we get like extra business all day long because that's all they do is bring us more business while they stand there making idiots of themselves.
Yeah, I know.
Screaming and, you know, and I always say to them, what is it about judge not lest ye yourself be
I
judged?
know. They have no concept of it. None.
Bible, it's in your own spirituality, but that just like ding goes. If you can't follow the tenets of your own spirituality, please don't come talking shit to me. Sorry, but don't, because I'm just going to be all over you. But anyway, yes, please do not allow people to judge you. Although I have to tell you, Goddess Starr, and I think you're going to find this to be true, especially because you deal with a lot of clients. And even I'll even put this on myself. I'll be my worst judge. You know, we judge ourselves more harshly than
anyone else
outsiders
could.
do. Especially, I think we as women, because we have a lot of pressure on us. You know, you turn on the TV and they're telling you your eyelashes aren't long enough and your hair is too gray and you're too fat and this is wrong and that's wrong and the other thing. And then
your armpit, your different things.
Yeah, you can't walk around with hairy armpits. God forbid someone might, you know, fall down and die if you don't shave your underarms, which is so ridiculous that they even will judge you how you have your body hair, for God's sake. And these are people that have way too much time on their hands. If you have time to sit around judging people and looking for people who didn't shave their underarms, you have way too much time on your hands. Do something with your life and improve it. But yeah, we try not to allow people to judge us, but I think it's more important that we have to be really careful when we look in the mirror because our words have power. And if you look in the mirror and say, oh, my hair just looks like crap today. Oh, I look fat in this dress. Oh, my hair, I need to dye it. It's just too gray. I can't stand it. You know, we're putting hatred out there in ourselves. And we're putting that judgment in ourselves. We're creating this.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really important for us, especially us women, because we're the ones that are most guilty, I think. Because I never hear guys talk badly about themselves. Maybe some of them do. I don't know. I don't hang around in the men's locker room and stuff. But I've never really heard a guy talk badly about himself. I never heard a guy look in the mirror and say, oh, these pants make me look fat. Or, you know, this shirt. They just come out and they dress the way they want to dress and they seem fine. We're the ones that we judge ourselves too harshly, especially our looks. I think we are way too hard on ourselves, that we're not a size 00, or we don't look like the people on TV or whatever it is. That, I think, is probably the biggest challenge that we as women have. What do you think about that?
I think you're absolutely right. I think the problem is that we have a tendency in general. I'm hearing feedback. Is it just me?
Let me make sure I'm muted, so I should be good.
I'm muted too. I think part of the problem is that for some reason, I don't know why, we as women tend to judge ourselves more harshly. Bottom line is, I think people just need to get a friggin' life. You know, if you had a life, you would be so busy running your life, you would not be able to look at someone's armpit or their hair, eyebrow is off a bit too much, or their eyelash or whatever, other than to say, honey, you know what, just fix that right there and you got it all, you're perfect just the way you are. Help the person rather than, you know, find something wrong with them. I don't know why we are such harsh judgment of each other, more than men. Women body shame each other more than men do it to us. You know, I have no idea why. It's like if we really want to destroy one another. I'm still perplexed by that. I'm not even going to go there with it because I don't even want to wrap my mind around the thought pattern with that, because it's just all stupid. Because to me, every woman has something. I don't care what it is. Find it and praise that woman for it and say, oh, wow, that your eyes are beautiful or your nose is beautiful. Find something. There's something there. We don't need to put each other down. And part of that is, you know, even with the gods and goddesses, they'll tell you different stories that they went through. Medusa, all of them, they all have different things of where they went through, and they will tell you, you would see the stories of them saying, I am beautiful, or whatever it is, and we should learn to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. We aspect all these different gods and goddesses as witches or metaphysicals, whatever you want to call ourselves. We all believe in these pantheons or these deities or whatever it is that's out there. And if that's the case, then learn to aspect them. Learn to learn from them, all their things. That's why the stories are there, to teach us all these things and how we can handle different things in our lives and how to handle who we are in a better manner. Look at Goddess Kana. That's what she does. She helps us learn to love who we are in this skin, in this body, how we handle food with ourselves, how we handle every aspect to deal with us, you know? So reach out to these different gods and goddesses. There are 1,000,001 out there, and they're there for us to learn from them. And if we don't learn from that, or even from one another, us on the show, talking to you guys, learn from one another, just aspecting ourselves and saying, I am no longer body shaming myself. I am no longer body shaming anyone else out there. Any of those things that we can aspect. We are our own deities and everything. So why not? You know, learn from ourselves, learn from the different deities, and maybe we can be better people for ourselves, because part of the whole thing is us really tearing ourselves apart. And that's really kind of sad, that we can't get a life, that we have to literally destroy who we are and destroy other people around us, rather than being happy for them. And, you know, and it's kind of sad. I'm sure it's destroyed friendships. It's hindered, you know, friendships as different things as you've gone through your life. And it's time to kind of change it and move on from there. Gain some of that wisdom and go on from there with it, you know?
I agree 100%. All right. So what do we got next? Speaking of the Femme Fatales, we actually have the Femme Fatale, which would be the shadow side of the fertility goddess. These are women who use sex for manipulation and could embody the gold digger mentality that we talk about today, but also the warrior mentality, because we as women, maybe not so much today, but we think about going back even 30 years ago, you know, even like as far as, because I can remember even in the 80s, you literally had to use your feminine wiles to get ahead. because women got no respect whatsoever. You were judged by your boob size or your butt size. And no,
And they still do.
really.
No, but they still do. That's the part that I'm laughing because they still kind of do.
Yeah, they still claim, but it's not as bad as
Prevalent. It's not as prevalent. Yeah.
it's not as prevalent. I worked in a mortgage bank in the early '80s, and one of the bosses there, he used to call me his bookends. So here come my bookends because of my boobs. We didn't have the protection.
Oh my gosh, he did not.
Yeah.
Oh my goddess.
They went away with that back then, but you could, now they can't. They dare not because they'll get sued up the wazoo. But back then, they could do that. They could make comments about your boobs and your butt, or hire you because how big your boobs were, and suggest what you should be wearing. They could do stuff like that. So a lot of women, actually use their feminine wiles. We think of like Cleopatra. When you think of what she was seeing two of the most powerful men in the world. She was sleeping with both of them because she had to do what she had to do to survive. It was her only way because they weren't going to listen in any way. So a lot of the femme fatale mentality is actually based on survival.
Survival, yeah.
Got to do what they had to do in order to defend themselves, to defend their kingdoms. They might have had to marry a king or somebody from somewhere else that they hated, but just to make sure that their kingdoms were safe. There's no real, true emotional connection with that person. It's about what they can get from that. So they use sex as a tool to get what they want. They can be very charming without actually even engaging in sex, and have the ability to read into a person to know exactly what buttons to press. So the femme fatales, now we used to call them, in the older days, we called them femme fatales. In the new days, they call them gold diggers. But that mentality is actually an old mentality based on the fact that women had only their sexuality, their feminine wiles, as we used to call it back then, to get somebody or to get what it is that they wanted, because their brains were not respected. They weren't allowed to own land. You basically couldn't barely have anything. And so you had to do what you had to do to survive. And that's where that mentality comes from. Of course, now when we think of it nowadays, we think of like, a 20-year-old getting with a 60-year-old guy with the hopes of getting his money. But who knows? Maybe in another lifetime, that girl was a femme fatale who had to do that to survive. And she brought that same mentality with her into this lifetime. But it is about survival. And so I wanted to point that out, especially back in the old days. And people who are, older know that back in the olden days, women did not. In fact, I was discriminated against more as a woman than I was as an African American in the workplace. I was discriminated against because I was a girl. And even growing up, you're discriminated against as a girl. You're not allowed to engage. Now you can. Now you can be a football player. You can be a girl and be a football player, a boxer, anything, a basketball player, anything the guys can do, you can do now, and it's okay. But back then, it wasn't. And you were expected to be pretty and know how to cook and be a good mother, but you had to, even just to get a husband, you had to be careful. You had to use your feminine wiles to get attention from men. So a lot of that is because, and it's really not that long ago that has gone on. And even today, even though you can get sued, there are still guys out there with that same mentality.
Yeah. That is true.
Model or whatever it is in order for them to look at you. But that's where that femme fatale comes from. It was about survival. It wasn't about just being greedy and trying to get a man for what they wanted. It was about them trying to survive because they had no other recourse. And so I kind of wanted to be on their side with that, because you don't know what you're going to do when you have nothing, and what you have to do what you have to do in order to survive. We could even technically, I guess in today's day and age, you could technically look at strippers, the exotic dancers, as femme fatales, because they're up there and they're dancing and they're showing their body to get money. My guess is there's probably other things they'd rather be doing, but they're doing what they have to do to survive and feed their family. Or maybe they enjoy doing it. A lot of them enjoy the power over the men, seeing the men drool all over them or whatever. But I would say that they are modern day femme fatales, because they're going to dance for you, take all your money, and you're not getting jack. You're not getting sex. You're not getting anything. All you're getting is a pocket. But that's your issue. So we won't even go there. So anyway, props to the strippers and the femme fatales. You go on Goddesses and do what you all have to do.
Well, I would take it even a step further, a little bit step further. Femme fatales are in all of us. That's my belief of it in one form or another. It's not just, there's the survival aspect of it, but when we need to get certain things done, I remember my husband would say, "Where are you going with that dress? Are you going down to get a parking ticket dismissed?" I said, "Yep." He knew my parking ticket dress. I would go down to the DMV, and I would see, somehow I would get all these male judges, and every ticket I would go like 10 to 15 tickets, and every single ticket I will get dismissed. I am sorry, I was not paying any ticket. That was my my parking ticket dress.
I love that, your parking ticket dress.
I went down, yes, because I would put that dress on, and I was skinnier, and I went down there, and I was like, "Yes, Judge," and I don't know what they mean, and I will show all the receipts of everything that I did, and I will show all the proof of everything and why I did what I did, and I got all the tickets dismissed, and I'll walk out going, "All my tickets done. I have to pay zero money."
Atta girl.
We've all got it in us. Okay, I have not done it in years, but I used to do it shamelessly. So I did not care.
Good for you.
I got what I wanted. It got me this tickets in New York City are expensive. That would have been like $500-600. I got down to zero. I don't care. So I did it. We've all got it in us. Think about it. Whether you got a speeding ticket off or something you got off because of either the way you spoke or the way you flipped your hair or whatever it is that you did. We've all got a little bit of femme fatale in us. Think about it. Seriously. And we're shameless about it. We don't care.
Yeah.
When we get away with it, we're like, see, that worked. And you drive away feeling very good about yourself because you did it. You got what you wanted. It's simple as that. You got what you wanted. And that's all that mattered. You didn't hurt anyone and you walked away.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's like, when you get pulled over and you pull your shirt down just a little bit, just a little.
Yes, exactly. You do what you have to do. A little bit of femme fatale comes out in all of us.
Sir, what happened? And you won't get a ticket. So we all do it. And you know what? Good for us. So it's like good for the strippers, good for everybody out there. You do what you need to do to get yourself together. All right, we've got a lot of comments here. And we don't get out of control with them. Let's stop for just a second. And let's see, we've got a lot of comments about the retrogrades. Yes, even Monica points out we had 6 planets in retrograde.
Yep. We're paying for it.
We got our butts kicked. I think we still do, even with the Mercury. I know Mars comes out, I think, on the 27th, but we still got a lot going on here.
Yeah.
Junia says that, I'm not normally as affected by the retrogrades, but this time the 6s and 3s gave me a run. I can dig it. Lots happened to Goddess Satsuki on May Moon. I hope I said that right. Lots has happened to me in the retrograde. It's been tough, but illuminating. Lost a job I hate. Good for you, because you'll get something better. Lost my 12-year-old. I'm sorry, your 12-year-old dog to cancer. I know how that is. I'm very sorry. Rekindled with your boyfriend. Heck, he helped you. Hi, could you please cover the goddess Oya met here in New Orleans and was really amazing. I actually have a really good book. I have to find that book on her I can tell you about. And it's Oya the goddess.
There's some little books on her. But you know what?
Book. But I have to find
this book. Like I'm always telling you guys about this book written by Judica Illes. It's Encyclopedia of Spirits, and there are I don't know how many gods and goddesses listed in here, but in here there's a whole section on her. I work with her. I mean, there's a whole thing on her here. She's one of the woman warrior orishas of storms, winds, and hurricanes. But I work with her in the graveyard or in the cemetery. Um, as she's the queen of the cemetery. Um, and I work with her when I go to do any graveyard dirts and stuff like that I have to collect for different kits that I have. But really get to know her. She's, I don't know, I find her to be fascinating. She's a very amazing dark goddess that I am always wanting to learn more about her. And I know that people say that she's all from the African Orishas, but she's also in the Caribbean as well. She's known in the Caribbean Isles um, as also that goddess of a warrior goddess that is to be revered. And she's known around the world with many traditions as that goddess that you will go to when you need to speak in any cemetery. And she will introduce you to the spirits of that particular cemetery and then go from there. So she has a lot on her plate with what she's in control of. And so she's a great goddess for you to get to know. I'm not surprised that you kind of had her calling you out in New Orleans because the cemeteries there are very revered and very, a lot of great people there like Marie Laveau. So, and I always believe that there's some sort of connection with her and Marie Laveau. I've always felt that when I go there. When I went there, I just got back from New Orleans actually on Saturday. I drove down. It was not nice. I would never drive again ever. Too long for me. But yeah, she's a very fascinating goddess. Even when whatever is written about her in this particular book, the Encyclopedia of Spirits. There is a book, I know, right, Goddess Rhonda, aren't there little books written of the different Orishas? Going more into detail.
When the next time you talk about, I'm going to go and see if I can locate, because I haven't unpacked a lot of books. I think
it's
but she's also a goddess of change. She's a goddess of rivers and water. If you've got sudden changes in your life, she can help you with that. Or if you need sudden changes in your life, she can help you with that. One of the things I love about her, because I have her doll, is I love.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Got her. It's a lightning bolt that's like right over the groin area, and that signifies that she's also a fertility goddess, also because she's coming.
Oh, wow, that's
from
awesome.
Groin chakra. So she's does a lot. She's sort of like an all around.
She
cool
does a lot.
Goddess. She can hug you or she can put you down, depending on
in a heartbeat.
But she's wonderful goddess, and she aspects so many things.
Yeah, she does.
There's so many things that she can help you with, but my favorite is how she's always depicted with the lightning bolt over her groin.
Because that also was I remember she'll protect you from lightning or anything like that will strike you down to hurt you. She's also great with business, women and business, to help you with different businesses. So if you can find out any way that you can work with her in that way, I don't know if that helps you. And this one here, let's see. She has been becoming more and more popular in the last few decades. Let's see. She favors spiritual mediums, female merchants, entrepreneurs and shopkeepers, women warriors, women riders, equestrians, anything like that. She is amazing. Her number is 9. Her color is maroon. Her day is Thursday. The metal that she favors is copper. Let's see. Her plants are camphor, cypress, marigold, and mimosa. Her sacred sites, of course, is Oya, is the spirit of the Niger River, and the island of Jekka in the river is sacred to her. They say to place a pair of horns on her altar to represent her. Strike them together to call her. She rules the cemetery, which we all kind of know. That's a big thing with me and her, and is the only Orisha willing to have contact with the dead. She likes starfruit, black-eyed peas, purple plums, and black or purple grapes. Her favorite food is eggplant. Allegedly, Oya can present hauntings by the recently dead or protect against them. Signals that you need her help via a piecework banner in 9 distinct colors. There's so much about her here that I even though it's a short, it's like 2 pages on her, and it gives you her color and all the different things. Her planets are Uranus, dark moons, and shooting stars. Um, yeah, so there's a lot here that if you want to learn about her more, but it's interesting that you, and I would not be surprised if part of it is that you either went to the cemetery or something like that while you were in New Orleans, or you wanted to go, or you were fascinated with it, something like that. And for some reason, that's where the calling is. So check it out. If you have a calling for her, that's a pretty wonderful, well-rounded, because she does cover so much. Well-rounded goddess to be aspected by. So check
All
it
right.
out if you
I
can.
found my book. I had to.
Okay, there you go.
I threw like 5,000 books out of the box. Put them away.
Look at that! Look at how big that book is on Oya. Oh my gosh, I gotta get that book.
It's called Oya in Praise of an African Goddess, and you can get this probably like on Amazon. I'll just read you the back of it just very quickly. Oya manifests in powerful forms of nature: the great river, strong winds, tornadoes, lightning, and fire, and the African buffalo. First worshipped by the Yoruba, Oya offers special protection and encouragement to Yoruba market women, is considered the patron of feminine leadership, persuasive charm, and magical powers, combines art, poetry, storytelling. This book will go over all of the aspects and the feminine symbolism that Oya represents. It goes over her incarnations, reflects the ambivalence with which womankind has traditionally been regarded, as well as the pervasive fear of potentially overwhelming nature of female passion. So if you need your female passion to re-spark, you can come to her. She's got a lot of stuff in here. So you can check this book out, and it's called, again, Oya in Praise of an African Goddess. And so you might want to check.
I might want to get that book, because I really I work with the graveyard dirt so much. So, you know, I want to learn all about her and not just one aspect of her that I work with, because she's so well-rounded. There's so much to her. So I hope whoever that was that mentioned her or loved her or wanted to get to know her, please do your research on her and go for it, because she's amazing.
Yes, that was Sharon who wanted to know. So hopefully,
okay, there you go, Sharon.
Answered your question for you. Junia says she's come out stronger and wiser from her travails. Good for you. Yeah. That's awesome. Soul says Ogun and the Iyami and my guardians help me because I live in a war zone. I'm glad that you have that kind of protection. Monica says, I find that in New Mexico, it isn't always a god or goddess, but animal messages, centipedes keep coming to me. I don't particularly care for crawling centipedes, but I know that they have good symbolism.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Let's see what we got here. I'm sorry, my thing keeps scrolling. Oh, yeah, so Monica says, yes, Crone equals old soul. Soul says, my family can't believe all of the herbs, holistic healing, and I also take turpentine like our grandmas did on the plantations. You rock, girl. Let's see, I'm going to skip just a little bit because there's a lot of comments here. Okay, Soul says Sekhmet. I love Sekhmet. Sekhmet has been with me all along. Hatfaru and Oshun. Awesomeness. Monica says, like they say, your karma will, will run over any dogma. You'll be the master of your own destiny. And Soul says, I've been body shaming myself recently. Oh, Soul, you're so beautiful. Don't body shame yourself.
Yep, you're not allowed. You're not allowed. We're all here to pick each other up.
Monica says, on the feminine wild subject, I've seen art and heard poems of healing for Medusa and the Minotaur. I found it beautiful. Uh-oh, there we go. We scrolled again. It's very annoying that it does this. And then I have to find my way back. Okay, let's see. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Give me a moment. Let's see. The art was a statue of Medusa. Okay, so Monica is talking about the art was a statue of Medusa holding Perseus's head. The poem was renaming the Minotaur to his name given at birth. Monica's laughing at your parking ticket dress. She has a tire changing shirt. I guess if she needs someone to change her tire, she puts a shirt. Good for you.
There you go, girl.
Do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do, right? And it works. That's the thing. It works. It always gets you whatever you want.
Said, speaking of books, Goddess Rhonda, are you still in the works with your vamp book? Yes, I am. Actually, I'll tell you, I actually wrote this book. God, I think it's 7 years ago, and I'm just fleshing it out. So, but the thing is, the more you think of things, the more things that come to you. So, but I'm getting it together, and I'm going to have it out by Christmas time. At least I'm going to try.
What's this vamp book? I'm now hearing about this vamp book.
Oh, I wrote a book about, it's a vampire book, but it's a sexual vampire book.
All right. Yeah.
And so I had written it as a little novella, and now I'm fleshing it out into a full-fledged thing. It's a comedy. It's actually pretty funny, but it's
good. Yeah. I can't wait to read it.
Rebecca says, can you please repeat the title of the book Goddess Starr was referencing? Goddess Starr, what book was it? The Encyclopedia of
Spirits? The Encyclopedia of Spirits, written by Judith Ellis. And it has, this book is, look how thick it is. And it's filled with different gods and goddesses from around the world. Fairies, genies, demons, ghosts, everything is in here. And what I like is she tells you about like you saw me naming off like the elements, the attribute, how they manifest, the plants, the trees, the planets, the sacred sites, the altar, offerings, everything she names off. And Judith does a lot of research. She actually travels a lot and does not just do paper research or book research. She travels around the world, like collecting these things from different tribes and different peoples and things. So her information is kind of coming from, say, that the tribe historian or whatever it is, giving her, the word of mouth kind of a thing as to what's going on. And sometimes she's the only one ever have it in written form with her books. She does a lot of encyclopedia books, but this one in particular, I find interesting because it has so many from around the world that you're not just doing the Greek, the Roman, and the ones that we all know so commonly. These are ones from around the world that you may be wanting to aspect and didn't even know. And there they are. Suddenly it hits you and you're like, wow, there you go. That's the one that's calling me. You know what I mean? And you didn't even know it. And so it's a good resource book to have. And you can find it on Amazon used or brand new. I bought mine used years ago. And I think at that time I paid like $5 and something for it. Now I don't think you can find it for that. It's a lot more, but it's worth it to have. It's a very good resource book.
Awesome. All right. So let's finish up we won't get to the gods, but we can finish up the goddesses. So we've got,
yes.
Let's see, we just did, what did we just do? We just did the
we just did the fertility goddesses. So now what are the ones, the next one, goddess?
Okay, so the next one we've got are the heroine or goddesses of war, like Victoria Nike. This is another form of an empath type goddess because she champions causes for others. Activists of all kinds carry much of this trait, but so do women in the military, police, fire departments, etc. They will place themselves in between you and harm. On the shadow side, she can weaken those who try to overpower, but she's basically her own hero. So if you have been like your own hero in your life, because it can happen, it could be one of your lessons that you're learning in this lifetime is you just have to deal with things yourself. And that happens especially with a lot of empaths who will get out there and put other people first and help them out. But when they need help, nobody's around and they're on their own. And so if you find that to be true, that you are your own hero or you need help becoming your own hero, then these are the goddesses that you want to associate with. Because we are, no offense to the guys out there. We love you men. We love the divine masculine. We love you very much. However, women, we have to get out there. We have to multitask. We have to do so much more than men do. You see, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen it growing up where the father comes home and he sits down on the couch and watches TV. Meanwhile, the mother comes home from work. She does the laundry. She cooks dinner. She gets everybody's homework done. You know, she's still working while her husband's sitting there watching TV. And so nowadays, especially if you're a single mother and you don't even have that, the guy to come home and give you half his paycheck or anything, we do, I think most women tend to be their own heroes. At least a lot of the women that I know, especially the single moms out there that have had to hold it down for themselves and their kids.
They're
You know,
amazing. They're amazing.
you guys, you're amazing. I just think that you're amazing and you're strong. And when you need some help, because we all need help sometimes, we all can get overwhelmed and just want to just say, screw everything. You know, these are the kind of goddesses that you want to bring in or aspect your, you know, bring their aspects into you, because you really are. I think most of us as women, we are our own heroes. We really are, because we have to get out there and do what we need to do, regardless whether we have a partner or not. So I'd say that most of us already aspect these goddesses, because we do have to handle a lot of things on our own. So what do you have after those goddesses, Goddess Starr? You've got what going on?
We've got the maid, or the goddesses of spring. These are the young goddesses that represent youth, purity, and spring. They are young and innocent and bursting with youthful energy. Older women, hold on one second. Older women keep their youthful attitude can still be considered under this category. So this under this category, think of it in the sense of the crone. Remember how we said the crone could be anyone of any age? It's the same thing here. The differences are what we're talking about is, instead of that older person acting like they're 16, it's that whatever age that you are, if you're over 50 or whatever it is, it's just that youthful part of you. It's not just you being a 16-year-old, but you being your age, but then you still have that youthful aspect. You can get up and go. You're spritey. Even if you maybe, you know, whatever is holding you back, you're still trying. You're still going. You're still stepping forward and saying, I've got this to do, that to do, and I've got an agenda, and I will accomplish it. And you getting out there and doing all the things that you want to do for you, you know? So again, this is that opposite end of the crone, but this is the maiden or the maid. Okay. And it covers all that aspect too, as well.
Absolutely. And then last but not least, we have the mother goddesses, Tara, Neith, Gaia, etc. These are the supreme goddesses who pretty much carry the energy of all of the archetypes. They are well-rounded, nurturing, and caring, and know when to pull back and let the bird fly from the nest, because they know it will make them stronger. People seek them out for guidance, compassion, and nurture. They will also supply a firm hand if needed to help you get where you need to go. That might mean that they will remove from your life those things that impede you. This can be painful at first, but is always for the best. You know, when we read these things, Goddess Starr, I think we as women, we aspect every single one of them. I'll be honest with you.
Yes, you do. I have.
We do. We aspect, as I'm sure most of the people listening to us right now.
Yep.
We aspect pretty much everybody at some point.
Yep.
You know, I can still consider myself a maiden because I feel youthful and do silly things and stuff like that. But I'm also a crone too because I'm wise. There's just so many things, so many aspects that we just read about. And I'm willing to bet that you, our family in the chat room, can probably associate with just about everyone we have just mentioned. And I think that's a beautiful thing because, you know, the goddess energy, the divine feminine, we break it down into different aspects because, you know, these are the people who are delegated to take care of whatever topic they take care of. But we really do aspect all of them. I think we as women do. I don't care how old you are. You probably aspect just about all of these. And I think that's awesome. I think we as women, we are awesome. And we need to remember that more and more and not body shame or hate or you know, do anything mean to us other women. We really need to build each other up and unify, and the world will be a much better place. I really do, because I do believe these commercials and things that we see, they actually cause us to turn on each other. And I don't think that's a really good idea. You know, I think that we're all beautiful no matter what color your hair is. I don't care if it's long, short, gray, purple, your eyes are blue, brown, black, green, whatever you are just beautiful. And you are just awesome with who you are. And so don't let anybody else tell you differently, that you are not an awesome, beautiful goddess who aspects so many others of our sister goddesses and our mother goddesses. You are truly beautiful. And so I'm hoping that when you guys look in the mirror tonight, you'll remember how truly awesome and beautiful you are. That's what me and Goddess Starr think. We think you're beautiful, regardless.
And one of the things that I would love for you guys to try, just go out for the rest of the time until we speak again on the next show. Just say, say something nice to another person, male or female. Say pick that something, be honest. You're not being dishonest. Find something, because we all have something, some gift or something that is beautiful, and say it. Imagine how much the world would be a better place if we all did that instead of putting each other down.
Right.
Maybe that person that was lashing out may turn out differently because they're no longer lashing out because you just said something kind or nice to them. If we can just practice that, or look at ourselves in the mirror and of myself and how beautiful I am. All aspects of me are beautiful. Whether anyone else thinks that. All right? Just saying.
Just saying. Before we close out, Goddess Starr, I did want to mention the very way cool Witch Fest that you put on.
Oh,
and
right.
I
Yes.
don't want to say anything about it, but we had, notwithstanding the donut heads on the corner with their megaphones, we had such a great time.
Yeah, we did. We did. And this was our first time doing 2 days. And everyone said they loved doing that both days. The vendors, all of them, they're like, oh, please, can we keep doing this? So I think we're good to go with 2 days from now on. And it was really wonderful. The pagan panel, oh my goodness, everyone that was sitting there and talking about different traditions and how they handle different things, and some of the discussions or the questions that people had, the comments we got from people were like, they were so blessed to be there, to hear all these different traditions talking and how they handle different aspects of things. And they learned a lot. They had an all day long, they had one workshop after the other, back to back, and they learned so much. And they garnered so much knowledge from so many people, young and old. And it was just really, really wonderful, all of it. It really was us taking our step into another realm. I was really surprised. The same community board that were denying us all these years, that got us approved this year, some of them were at the one on Saturday, and they were on Sunday, and they came up to me to tell me, we're here. We came to another neighborhood just to see you guys on your second day. And I was like, did you like it? They said, we're here. Look at us. We're here following you guys. We had such a wonderful time. Thank you. And we were like, yay! Not only did we impress the community board that did not like us, they followed us to another neighborhood, ready to enjoy the second day of it. So I think we did a good job impressing them, right, people? And I'm so proud of all of you were there. That, oh my goodness, all of you, whatever traditions you were all wonderful. And oh my goodness, I'm so proud to have done this with all of you guys. I really am, because it was so awesome. And people who presented for the first time this year with us, they were already saying, I don't care, I'm coming back next year, so put me on the calendar. They're not even asking. They're like, I'm on the calendar, I'm coming back down. So it was nice to see they wanted to be part of this in a continuing basis. And that's kind of cool, because they bring more of their knowledge and their wisdom. And, they want to bring other things to it. And they were like impressed with it. And that's something when presenters are saying, oh no, I'm there next year already. That's a lot. So I thank you guys all. And oh my goodness, the attendees, all of you guys that were there, thank you so, so much. You guys make this what it is every year, and we are getting bigger and better. Thanks to you guys. Okay.
Yay.
Yay. What did you think, Goddess? You can put your input.
You know, Witch Fest is my favorite. It turns Manhattan into a magical place, and the music and just the people. The workshop tents were packed with people learning, and it's just such a beautiful, like, it just goes too fast till you get there, and it seems like it's
I
over
know, I know.
in like 2 minutes. And it's just amazing. If you didn't get a chance to make it this year, I'm hoping that you'll maybe figure out a way to make it next year, because it really is worth it. I promise you, you will not be sorry. You will have a great time. We've got great entertainment. There's belly dancers. We have this great group Metamorph, which was just awesome. It was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
a beautiful time and a beautiful place. And there's plenty of shopping. The workshops alone, those workshops alone are really worth a fortune, because a lot of us we charge a lot of money for our workshops. And this was
Yeah,
your
we do.
opportunity to learn from a tremendous amount of people for free. You had all of these people that were coming. We had Christopher Penzak, we had Starr, we had Lady Rhea, we had me, we had all kinds of people there, that were teaching, and everyone was just sucking up the knowledge and asking. It was just wonderful. It's just a wonderful experience. If you want to learn, we've got that. If you just want to come and be entertained, they've got that. If you want to come and shop and get goods that you won't normally be able to get because it's all in one place, they have that too. It's just worth it. It's just worth it for you to come up and spend a day. You'll love it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you won't be sorry, I promise. I promise you.
yeah, yeah. You would not. And the next date that we have is July 13th and 14th of 2019. And do check out the website. I am working on it. I'm working on it, but if you go to witchesfestusa.org, which is WITCHS as in Sam, F as in Frank, ESTUSA.org, you will see the information as soon as I can get all of it up. But yes, I'm in the process of changing all the new information over. But yes, you will enjoy it. I promise.
Awesome. So on that note, we're just so glad to be back here with you guys. I wish, I keep saying it because we've been gone for, I think it's been 5 weeks. I think that's the longest we have ever been gone, between computers and traveling and, the other things that we had going on. It is such a joy to be back here with you guys. We've missed you terribly. And, you mean so much to us. I know we say it all the time. You're like our family. This is like our Monday night get together with friends and family. And it's just awesome that you guys are with us. So thank you again, and on that note, and as I talk to you, I am right away copying the chat room, which hopefully the whole thing will copy this time, so I can put it. And so with that said, again, we hope that you have an awesome week. We are so grateful to be back with you. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and close out. So as always, merry meet,
merry part, and merry meet again.
Thank you, everyone, and have a blessed night, and we will see you.
Yes. And we missed you and love you guys. Bye. See you next week.
See you next week. Bye.